well. So I'm doing something a little bit different. It's a little uncomfortable for me, but not really. I'm kind of interested to see where this goes. It's been an idea that I've had for a very long time, but I didn't really feel compelled and I didn't make the time to do it. Let's talk about both. Let's be real. To actually do it until I started watching Dodash. So thank you so much, girl. Here I am. So I am Tynecia Evans. I am a functional nutrition practitioner. I'm the owner of T-Spot Wellness, and that's what I originally thought I would use this channel for, to talk about nutrition. I think that I'm still going to do that, but I also want to talk a little bit about my journey to entrepreneurship, my journey to nutrition, my journey to functional nutrition and integrative nutrition. And I think that at this time in my life, it seems a bit more crucial. I am in a toxic workplace environment, unfortunately, and it's really disappointing because I came to the role with such high hopes, and I am incredibly disappointed with the experience that I've had. And I said that this was going to be my last year, this transition from um, April, March to April, March 2024 to this April coming. And I don't feel equipped to leave, but I still feel like it's time to go. And I've always had this fantasy of, like, I don't know how many of you listen to Tyler Perry or Oprah for that matter, or just other people in their trenches story, right? So Tyler talks about living in his car and having to encourage himself and edify himself and pray over himself and hope and believe and still believe in all those things and take, one step every day. And Oprah talks about, I think it was maybe her grandmother, her great grandmother, saying, you need to come over here and learn how to do this because you're going to be doing it one day. And she knew in herself that she would not be doing that. She was like, no, I don't need to know how to do that. I've had so many of those types of moments in my life, and I often wonder about the the way you feel in that moment, the way your spirit is talking to you and leading you and guiding you. And if I could go back and, like, look at those moments, not just a movie, but like actually see them in real time. And I actually want to be able to do that for myself. And I want to be able to do it for y'all too, if you're interested. So please like and subscribe. I have lots of unique juxtapositions that have created the me that I am today. And I will be sharing a lot of that. I am an adult survivor of childhood trauma. My ACE score is a 10. So I like to say I'm a 10 and my ACE score is a 10. And I've had to overcome some fuckery and bullshit. And I've survived 2 cults. I will be sharing a lot about those stories very, very soon. And it's been rough. It has been rough. And I I am learning to be grateful for a lot of the experiences that I've had, because a lot of them are still very raw and painful. But they all led me to this work of integrative and functional healing. And I'm currently in a doctoral program. I will be finished in about 3 years, maybe sooner, dissertation. I love it. It's not hard for me. It's not challenging. I left medical school. I was actually accepted to medical school. That's what I thought I was going to be doing. And that is not the way that I wanted to contribute to this world. And I often feel like I should go back. And we will talk. I'll share about that a little bit as we go through this process, this journey together. I hope that you will join me and watch me do this for us. And I hope to inspire you to be able to do something freaking scary for yourself too. I was not made to live mediocre. I know that for sure. And it's been very, very challenging trying to stuff my wings and hide them and not, you know, not, it's been hard to try to fit in. Let's just go there. It's just been hard to try to fit in. It's been hard to cooperate. It's been hard to conform. It's always been challenging. And the more I step out and choose not to do those things, it's easier, but it comes with another set of challenges. And that has been very difficult to navigate, and it's made me feel very alone and isolated at times. I don't mind being alone, but I don't like feeling lonely. I know I'm not the only one, right? So let me know how you feel about that. But I've always been the outlier. I can't say I'm the black sheep in my family, but I guess maybe I am. I was on the street at 16. I was kicked out at 16. I was excommunicated from a church, and then I was homeless. And I was homeless to like maybe my into early adulthood, early 20s, maybe. Actually, I think it was longer than that. We will go over all of that. I've written a book about it, and I am journeying to be published. And I am also relaunching my brand, T Spot Wellness, where I focus on trauma as a neurodivergence, and I help people heal chronic disorders, diseases, responses in their bodies using food and lifestyle nutrition. That is my private brand. In my superhero job, my secret job is I am a health coach. I'm a holistic health coach. I have a special expertise because I have a master degree in epidemiology and functional integrative wellness, nutrition, health coaching, all of those things. And I love it so much. It means so much to me and has helped to truly change my life. Um, but being in an environment where I'm leading people into healing, but then also being traumatized by my employer is really disappointing. I'm just really disappointed. Like, I don't really have anything negative to say outside of just really being disappointed. This is not like one of those things. I'm not about to bash the organization or anything like that. I'm just really disappointed. And I know that I'm not the only one as a Black woman. I am less than 1% um, in wellness. Sorry about the dogs. 1% in wellness. But I am, it doesn't feel like there's any space for me when I know that there is. I know that I wouldn't be welcomed into the room, and I don't need to be welcomed into the room. I create my own room. And I'm grateful to be able to do that and provide that type of support for my patients, for my clients, and also for myself. It's healing to heal others. It's gratifying and it's supportive and helpful, and it makes you feel good. But I'm sure that you can see I'm even kind of selecting my words because I'm just so disappointed with the environment that I was selected for and the way that I'm treated. Again, I can't get into details because I am still a part of this organization, and it's not about that. It's really not about that. This focus is about me supporting you and encouraging myself to the next level, the level that I know that I'm destined for, that I know that it's time for. I can feel it. I feel it, and I know that it's time, and I know that I'm not the only one. And I wanted to be able to get on here and to begin to document this part of my journey. I think that I've moved quietly and in survival mode for so long that maybe I didn't quite get a chance to landmark my journey. There are some videos that I have on here that I'm able to look back at, and I'm grateful, and I can kind of remember what was going on in my life at that time. And I want to be able to do that more. I want to look at these videos hopefully as much as you do, or the same as you do. So, and I want to create a community. I have a community right now, but I want to intentionally build a community of self healers, to where we can support one another in raising our net wealth. That's my catchphrase. I have some t-shirts. I'll put them in here for you if you're interested. I'd appreciate your support. I have some products, all of those wonderful things that, entrepreneurs do, but I want to be intentional about this. I want to be intentional about getting my gift out into the world, getting my gifts out into the world, and supporting others who are like me. Because it's really challenging when you feel like it's just you. It's empowering and challenging at the same time. And you know what it takes to get through the day. A lot of people don't admit that, especially in experiences of trauma, active trauma, while healing trauma. It's a lot. It's a lot. And as a functional nutrition practitioner and as an artist who, I guess maybe I am like a academic artist who supports and aids others in locating their healing or mapping their healing, I see it from so many different lenses on top of being able to do that and provide that type of support for myself. So I feel like being on here is just another, or being visible, I should say, because I can be anywhere. Being visible is an opportunity for me to exemplify as well as amplify the type of support and community required to truly heal, self-heal specifically. I think that sometimes we can rely on others to provide a safe haven to heal in, but ultimately that's what we are supposed to be able to provide for ourselves. But we don't have the tools. We innately know how to heal, but we don't innately know what we need in order to heal. Hopefully that makes sense. So, growing up as a child in trauma, lots and lots of abundant trauma, the only thing I knew to do was to survive, maybe to tolerate, to try to move forward in, to ignore, to be silent about, to run away from, all of those things. But I can now see so many times in my life that those learned behaviors informed additional behaviors in my life, informed additional responses in my life. Trauma creates a neurodivergence, and it's not to your detriment. It's actually to your benefit, but it feels like it's to your detriment. So I have an extreme amount of opportunity and ability to do a lot of things that people can't do. We think with both sides of our brains. We have a lot of neurodivergent traits. Some of us may even have diagnoses, but some of us don't have diagnoses. But all of these, to me, I believe if it didn't kill you, it became a superpower. It's an opportunity for you to support yourself. It's an opportunity to use it to your advantage. I've learned to use a lot of what I've learned in trauma, what I've experienced in trauma to support me in moving forward. And I believe that there are times where I still have to check my trauma and check to make sure I'm not only operating out of a traumatic response and I'm actually moving towards a goal, a positive direction in my life and in my experience of my life that I desire to have. The intuition damage that comes with experiencing trauma, I would say, is the hardest thing to overcome. I'm constantly, because I'm hypersensitive and I'm an empath, all of those things are gifts of trauma. They really are. They don't feel so good because it's overwhelming and overstimulating. Please chime in if you know what I'm talking about. But those are all gifts. They actually are gifts and they don't feel so good. But it's a blessing. It really is. Like every time I get to a point where I knew I felt something, I knew I experienced something, I knew I picked up on something, and then maybe it didn't happen right away, but I got confirmation that I was correct. It's a strengthening of that space that was damaged. It's a strengthening of that space that was harmed as a child or as an adult. for me to begin and continue, or maybe to reinforce my trust of myself, my belief in myself, my support of myself, especially while trying to heal this adult that still kind of takes care of little tiny Sia, because she's still in there trying to protect me, trying to point, oh, there's danger over there, there's something over there, don't trust that person, or remember this type of behavior or that response. It's a lot of work to self heal. It really is. And I feel like we either get the academic answer, or we get the toxic positivity. And both are needed, both are beneficial in their own right. But sometimes you actually just need someone to understand. And I think that that's what helps me to be such an effective practitioner, is my patients and my clients feel seen, heard, and understood. And then we use the tools to create practicality around how they would like to move forward, because all of my sessions are informed with my patients, how they would like to move forward. There's always an option. And sometimes that option is to remain in your shit. You have the choice. You absolutely have the choice. And I cannot say that it's easier to move forward. It's harder to heal. But it takes less effort to remain healed. So that is something that I would say is incredibly important in regards to self-healing. So I feel like I'm kind of rambling, but I do want to share a little bit more about why I'm starting this channel. Accountability, for one, for me to you, hopefully you to me as well, if you have some things that you would like to share. I am, as you know, working to create a monument of whatever's going to happen in the next few months in my life in regards to this role that I'm in. And I want to be able to share that. I really, really do. I want to document that experience, not just for myself. I want to be able to document it for someone else. And I feel like I have tapped into a new energetic response in my life, a new energetic flow in my life that will allow me and permit me the opportunity, or has permitted me the opportunity, to seriously speak some things into existence. In 2024, I received, created every single thing that I asked for. And I know that that sounds woo-woo to some people, but it really isn't. Like, there were some things I just rattled off the top of my head, and it just came within a few months. And it really caused me to respect my intuition, respect my word, respect my power, respect the divinity, the anointing in my words, speaking over my life, speaking things into existence. And there were a lot of things that I spoke into existence that I ended up not liking. So I became a homeowner, yay, in a location that I didn't quite enjoy, which was rough. And I judged myself for that. I'm so grateful. Not only am I a homeowner, I am also a landlord. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. But it was scary, and then it was exciting, and then I was blissful, and then I got there in the experience and I was like, oh my goodness. And I think that, well, I know that a lot of what I experienced was trauma responses. The trauma response of moving forward, feeling like I needed to consider and then reconsider, wanting to reconsider and consider and consider and reconsider and consider. Because that happens when you have had childhood trauma, you overthink. And not because you're trying to necessarily plot the outcome, but because the price has been so high in regards to other people making decisions for you, or your voice not being heard in decisions that were made, or maybe you made a decision and then you had to pay for it, the price was too high. It's like you want to try to think of every case scenario and make sure you're okay with it, because the price is just too high. It's too hard. It's too painful. you feel like you can't yell out. Sometimes I feel like I have to deal with everything on my own. I am child free and I am also solo. I don't say single. So a lot of, I feel like everything is on me. Everything is on me, but I feel like everything is on me as well. Let me know if you understand what I mean. So sometimes that is just stifling. It's stifling. And I think this experience with making my first purchase, also making my first purchase out of state, also making my first purchase, which is also a duplex. It was so many things that I was so excited to not know, and then so many things that I wish that I considered and then reconsidered and then considered again. But I think honestly, I would have talked myself out of it. I would have talked myself out of this massive gift of experience that I was giving myself and wanted to give myself because I wanted this. I asked for it and everything that I needed came together in the way that it should. But I kept struggling with thinking I'd done something wrong, thinking I'd made a mistake, and then my intuition reminded me that I hadn't. And it was such an awful, uncomfortable place to be in. And it took me a while to settle into the gift that I've been given and the gifts of my trauma, that kind of the residue that came up with this experience. And I say that those are gifts because they actually were. I needed to know that that residue was still in me as a vessel and still within me as a temple and could inform decisions moving forward in a way that would not be a benefit to me. So I was grateful to be able to do that and to have that. But it was scary and it is scary. And I am still working through it, as you see. But these are the types of things that I want to be able to have real conversations with you all about and with myself, because I'm going to watch these back. And I want to monument this part. I want to monument this journey in my life because something's happening. Some things are happening. And a lot of things that I've waited for, expected, prayed for, hoped for, believed for, all along this journey. And also the many things that have made me very unique, I want to be able to share in regards to the two cults and the book and um, the um, the future that I feel like still exists for me after feeling like there was no future for me. And I know that I'm not the only one. And it makes me excited to be able to share this with you. And I get so overwhelmed with all of my feels. I feel all of my feels. So there may be some of these journals, maybe I can call them journals, where I am sharing with you and it doesn't feel so good. And even as I'm speaking about that, so many responses are coming up for me. And I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful to feel all of my feels because there was a very long time where I did not want to, and I wouldn't allow myself to. When you've experienced trauma, it kind of seems like the people who around you are traumatizing you are either trying to get a response or trying to damage your response. And I feel that for a very long time in my life, I I was responding to everything. I still respond to everything. But it was so it was just turmoil every single time. And it made me despise my softness. And I don't and didn't want to do that. Being soft, being gentle is a gift. Feeling all of my feels is a gift. And I know that it is still to this day. Being sensitive is a gift. And it's so hard because still, I'm 43 years old. People still are trying to, and they get removed because things are different now. People still try to, oh my God, you're so sensitive and it wasn't that serious and it was just a joke and I'm just playing and you said something too. All of that stuff is so remedial and dismissive of the fullness of what emotive responses are. And we all have emotive responses. So I want to encourage you to feel all of your feels. Like, feel them and observe them and respect them. And you can feel your feels without reacting. That was something that I needed to learn. You can feel your feels without violence. You can feel your feels and be empowered by them. And I think that for a very long time, a lot of that wasn't real for me. I thought there was only one way, and that way was unkind, and it was protective, and it was um, abrasive. And as I've been through this process of healing, as I have become a healer myself, as a practitioner of these things, these arts and gifts and sciences, I just feel like I've learned so much. There's so much gratitude for the things that I've learned. And I just know I'm on the precipice. So funny that I never thought I would use that word like a real adult. Of some freaking amazing things that are occurring and have occurred and are unfolding and blossoming in my life right now. And I really want to, I have to landmark it. I'm so excited and nervous and scared and curious and uncomfortable, so incredibly uncomfortable. I have never been so, okay, so I use the word triggering in a different way. So it's not my number one word because a trigger is an opportunity for you to heal. So I say activated, but it's similar to a triggering response. So I've never been such an activating experience in my entire life, really. And I was kicked out of the house at 16 years old. So I think the awareness of my gift, the awareness of being a healing arts practitioner, the awareness of the things that I know, the awareness of the things that I don't know, being able to observe my environment and realize how it's affecting me, how it's not affecting me, the things that are happening in my body, all of the HSP things that I have going on. It's such a different experience for me. And it has created such a beautiful connection and awareness from me to me and deepening of my relationship with myself, which is your most important relationship, your longest relationship, and the relationship that I will always be most committed to. So a lot of this is just so much self-work that I believe is culminating in a way that doesn't feel like it's in deficit of the damage that I've experienced in my life. I finally feel like I'm making some progress. And I don't want to be sad about that, but I'm 43. There's always time. And I know that. And it's never too late. And all those wonderful things I'm supposed to say. But the amount of work that it has taken to heal to this state and be able to be here, I don't want anyone else to feel alone as they go through this process. And I don't want anyone else to not have an example as they go through this part of their journey, or maybe a part that I've already gotten through, or an opportunity for me to be able to support. But man, I'm just now feeling this way. And it had been so long. And don't get me wrong, I feel like it all kind of maybe happened around 40. Maybe. I felt very lost before then. And I still feel very lost now, but I feel confidently lost. I feel like I'm boldly going in a direction and I have no idea where I'm going, but I am boldly going in that direction. And it always makes me laugh because, you know, kids do that when they break away from their parents' arms, or, you know, dogs do it. You see them walking down the street and they're just like, where are you going? Like, you're very serious though. You convince me that you know where you're going. And I kind of feel like that. I kind of feel like I am boldly and confidently going in the direction of my intuition, and I have no idea where that's going to take me, but it feels amazing. It feels great, and I am expecting the best of outcomes, the best of everything. And that also was a gift of my trauma, because I conformed so many times to try to be my most comfortable in the discomfort that I was experiencing. And it made me resentful and bitter and frustrated and sad and feel like I didn't belong or expect or deserve, I should say, the best or deserve anything for that matter. So I'm so grateful to be in an experience where I know I deserve the best, and I make sure to provide the best I can for myself and seek out the best for myself and build the best. And I want to inspire you to do the same. So I'm going to get off. I feel like this was so good and cathartic for me, but hopefully I didn't have your mind wandering and rattling and boredom and all of those things. But I'm really excited to share this. It makes me feel like, I don't know how old you are, but I used to watch Diary, and it makes me feel kind of like that. So I think I'm really going to like this and commit to this. Hold me accountable. I need that. And I'm here to support you. And I guess I'll see you in the next video.